Brock Purdy was a little shaky in this game. He was good enough. They won the game. They scored 31 points, but he was a little shaky in this game. And don't take my word for it. How did Kyle Shanahan act? How was he calling plays? They went up 24-0. Everything was great. But Purdy's numbers weren't so good. You know, like when they got around the end zone, they handed off. So he could have had some easy gimme touchdowns. They handed off. They had 3 rushing touchdowns. So he couldn't pad his passer rating that way. But he wasn't throwing for a lot of yards. And once Kyle Shanahan took Brandon Ayuk out of the game plan, it was hard for Brock Purdy to really dominate like that. Maybe that's on Kyle. Maybe if you called some more passes for Brandon Ayuk and Brock Purdy didn't have to do it himself, he would have thrown for more yards. But didn't throw for a lot of yards in the first half, and then the third half happens. And it's a disaster. Early on, he throws a pick six. Like, it's not a game. And he makes it a game by giving him a touchdown. And we know how Kyle Shanahan reacts to quarterbacks when they do stuff like that. Go back to 2019. Jimmy Garoppolo was 8-0 at one point. He was as lauded and hyped as Brock Purdy is right now. Oh, he was. Don't lie to yourself. He was. He was 13-3 that year. Then he went to the playoffs and had one shaky game, and Kyle Shanahan essentially never trusted him again. I don't think we're there with Brock. But in this game, you saw it with Kyle. He does this. He has this tendency. He's a short fuse. Brock Purdy threw that pick six. It was it for Brock Purdy. Goodbye, Brock. It's not your game. We're taking the game out of your hands. I no longer trust you. We're going to hand off. We might let you throw a couple screens. And then when they were up 31-3 with 2 minutes left, Kyle started calling play action stuff to pad his stats a little bit. But essentially, Kyle's like, I'm not letting you lose this game. We have a 21-point lead. You just made it a 14-point lead with that awful pick six. And it was an awful pick six. Now, maybe Christian McCaffrey, he tipped it. But it's like, what's he supposed to do? Not try to catch the ball? It was an awful throw. He's running just a little angle route over the middle. Purdy misses way high, way out in front. It's like a 5-yard throw. We've seen him make that throw. That wasn't a good one. What's Christian supposed to do? Not try? If he doesn't try, he can get picked too. So this was interesting. It was the first time we've seen really Purdy struggle with a lead. He had a 21-point lead in the second half and threw a pick six. We haven't seen that from him. Usually the turnovers happen when he's losing. Kind of scary that he did it with a 21-point lead. I can see why Kyle Shanahan would freak out a little bit. Like, man, I don't need you to do anything. We're up. We're winning. What are you doing? If I can't trust you to throw a 5-yard pass over the middle to Christian McCaffrey, I'm running the ball and getting it the hell out of here. And we'll talk about this on Monday or Wednesday. But I don't know. Maybe you are just overjoyed about the big win and think Purdy was great. Nothing to talk about. He'll move on. But I don't think Kyle feels that way. I guess I want to see how this performance affects Kyle Shanahan's play calling the rest of the season. Is this going to stick in his head? Because Kyle has a good memory. I feel like that 5-interception practice that Jimmy Garoppolo had that one time stuck in his head forever. Never forgot it. Neither did I. This isn't Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. He's much better. Moves really well, avoids pressure. But can you trust him? I don't know. Kyle doesn't seem to know either. Used to be if you gave him a lead, it's over. Nothing to worry about. And this one, he gave you something to worry about. They still won by a lot.